Hello, hello, hello. What's good, nerds? My name. I'm kidding. It's so funny. I like doing little intros at the beginning of my videos because I feel like it kind of brings me into, it kind of sets the tone of the video. So that's why I always feel like I gotta do an intro. So to those of you who've been following me for a while now, again, what up, nerds? Missed you, thought about you today, and I'm excited to share some interesting realizations with you. And for those of you who are new here, my name is Yasha. I also go by Taylor the Penguin, and I do these videos, part of this little series that I do. I do them every night. They are unscripted. They're as raw as I can get them, where I'm vulnerable and I talk about spiritual things. I talk about special interests that I have. Sometimes I give advice, you know, little stuff like that. That is what I do. And it makes me feel really good to do. I initially started doing these videos because I was moved spiritually to do them, and I'm still moved to do them, but now it's taken on more of a I do them because it just feels really good at the end of my day. And also they're acting as kind of like vlogs for me to keep up with. Because I was watching a video that somebody did. Actually, it was Jadina, who is a spiritual, kind of prophetic person who I follow here on YouTube, and I follow her on Instagram, and she is dope. And she was just sitting at her desk doing some writing, and she was like, guys, make sure that you journal. Make sure that you journal about what's going on where you're at right now, because life has a way of surprising you. And it's nice to be able to go back and read where you were. 2 minutes and 2 seconds as I say this. It's nice to be able to go back and read where you were when big changes start happening. And then when you're already past a certain point, it's interesting to go back and read and see where you were at, where your head was at, and stuff like that. So that is essentially what these videos are. They're multifaceted. And I've been enjoying this process so much. So I'm showing my little mobile that I like to show at the beginning of my videos. And then if you have water with you, let's drink together. If you don't, you can grab some water. I would love for you to do that. Get some water in. It's so important and it's so good for you. Again, if I meet any of you in person or if I meet you online, I'm gonna ask you, have you had water today? And if you haven't, I think you should. So let's get into it. Today was an insanely good day. It was an insanely good day. In my last video, I talked about how I actually went at, I was up at 4. I actually didn't go to sleep last night. So last night I did not sleep. I stayed up because my mom, I took her to the airport because she had a conference that she was going to. And so I took her and I dropped her, and I did indeed talk to myself all the way back to the apartment. Loved it. Got back and took my happy ass right back to sleep because I was like, damn, I didn't get no sleep. So I slept. Then I popped up this morning and was moved to do some journaling. And while I was journaling, I actually had downloads of exactly what I need to do in preparation for all of the things that I've been asking for. I've been asking for weeks. 4 minutes and 4 seconds as I say this. I've been asking for weeks for some kind of movement, for some kind of make sure I'm in the camera. For some kind of movement. I've been asking for some kind of guidance, and it's been so quiet. And then today I have a list of about 15 things that I need to, or not even need to, that I would like to do as things in my life are happening. So for those of you who are new here, I do want to run through this. It's so important for me to say. There are 3 kind of big things that I am currently manifesting. The first thing is that I want to be paid and pampered to play, meaning that I want to receive monetary pay. I would also like to receive getting my hair done, my nails done, getting massages and stuff like that, to just play, to just enjoy life and to experience it. The second thing is that I am bringing into my space and in my reality my soulmate, a person who we both feel connected and we have really great chemistry. We're very passionate, and the person rides as hard for me as I'm riding for them. And then the third thing is like just general abundance. You know, I want abundance primarily so that I can give back to all the people who have just done eons upon eons upon eons for me throughout my entire life. And they're people who I can list right now who I know are going through it, and I would love to have the finances to be able to say, hey, I'm sending you some funds. I'm the type of person who I'll send shit anonymously because I don't want people to feel like they have to thank me for the things that I've done. So in some cases you can't send it anonymously because some people really are like, no, I need to know where this comes from. So I do have a couple family members like that. I have a couple friends like that. But for the most part, those are the things that I have been manifesting. And I came upon a realization today. But before, actually, no, let's talk about that. And then I can talk about the other thing that I want to talk about. The other thing that I want to talk about, 6 minutes and 6 seconds, as I'm saying this, is I am going to very briefly talk about Poppy Playtime Chapter 4. For those of you who are gamers, I did a poll on here and it was really interesting. A majority of the people who are following me, you guys are like spiritualists, like you guys follow spiritual content, and that makes sense, and I love that, and that makes me happy. And then a small percentage of you also watch gaming content. So I think it's really cool that I have like that section of people, spirituality and gamers and people who enjoy film and media. I just think that's so cool. So welcome to all of you. To those of you who are new subscribers who did not see that poll or take that poll, I would love in the comments to know what brought you to this video. You never have to like, comment, or subscribe, but I do like to see the comments because I like to be able to engage with the people who watch my videos. I like to know what you guys are doing. Who are you? Where'd you come from? How'd the video reach you? Was it just on your normal regular page? Did somebody send it to you? Did you go looking for it? Questions. But yeah, so I do want to talk about that. But I actually want to get into the meat and potatoes of my realization today because I have a feeling this is actually 7 minutes and 23 seconds as I'm saying this. I have a feeling this is actually going to be important for somebody. So we're just going to get right into the the vulnerability aspect. So for those of you who are new here, I grew up very religious. I also grew up very very religious, and then also very like sheltered and closed off. Now, nobody made me sheltered. My parents were very like, no, we want you to experience the world. We want you to experience life. So I knew about things. I was relatively knowledgeable growing up. But because I was very small and because I was very prone to anxiety, I was very conservative, not politically, but like in nature. I was just a very like conservative, not shy because I was very like vocal, but I was very much so into rules, into tradition, into ritual, like things that had a correct pathing. And my entire life, I have sought in some way those things because they made me feel comfortable. In a world that I viewed as being very chaotic, finding things that provided structure was incredibly important for me. And so I ended up leaning towards things that had structure. So I was actually very excited about school in some cases because it was nice to know what I was doing. I was very excited for routine. Like, I liked doing the same thing all the time. And again, it's not that I liked routine, it was just I was afraid of the chaotic world outside of me. 9 minutes and 9 seconds as I say that. So I feel like somebody who's watching this maybe has dealt with this or is dealing with this. So, imagine my shock today when after I closed my computer after watching somebody play through the entirety of Poppy Playtime 4. Amazing. We'll get into it a little bit. But after I watched that, I went to the bathroom. And as I was sitting upon the porcelain throne, taking a pee, a certain portion of my consciousness asked me, I said, so what am I supposed to be doing? Like, I got those downloads this morning, and when am I supposed to start working on those, those 15 things that I can be doing while I'm waiting for my stuff to appear? And And the spiritual portion of me, that consciousness, that other conscious, I have many different like levels of consciousness, I believe. I think that's what my spiritual team, my higher self, it's all just different levels of me. And the response I got was, what do you want to do? When do you want to do it? And for some reason, perhaps it was because I was very vulnerable at that moment, you know, pants around my ankles. That's very possible. And usually a lot of my best ideas happen when I'm on the throne. It's a very contemplative place to be. Sometimes I'll take my phone in there and I'll be like on Instagram. I used to be on TikTok while I was in there, but now sometimes I'll specifically leave my phone and I'll just be in there like this. Contemplating, thinking, training mentally and getting stronger. And I believe that everybody has a window. I believe that there's like this cylinder that spins. And on this cylinder is a brick wall. And usually when you hear things, if that brick wall is fronting, then when you hear stuff, 11 minutes and 11 seconds as I say this, when you hear stuff, it just hits that wall. It doesn't go through, it doesn't go anywhere, it doesn't even go in one ear and out the other, it just doesn't hit. But then on that cylinder, there's a window. There's a window in the brick wall. And sometimes that window is fronting. And if somebody tells you something when that window is fronting and it's open, it hits you. And you internalize it and you get it. Even though you've been hearing it repeated to you over and over and over again. Some of you have friends, some of you know people, and some of you are these people, where you can hear something over and over and over again, or you can tell somebody something over and over and over again, and it doesn't hit, and then one day the person comes to you and goes, oh my God. Excuse me. They go, oh my God, you were right. I finally understand what you meant. I get it. It actually clicked. It actually clicked. And I had that moment while I was on the throne. The porcelain pot. I was there. I was there, Gandalf. I was there when the courage of men failed. Evil was allowed to endure. If you haven't seen Lord of the Rings, at least see the first movie. At least see the first one. Give it a chance. Give it a chance. And what I realized in that moment was that old habits do indeed die hard. The reason why that saying is said, guys, in case you've never thought about it, is that old habits, human beings, are habitual creatures. We thoroughly enjoy our habits. We create them. Even people who like to do different things every day have habits. That's just what we do. And I somehow managed, my habits somehow managed to come all the way with me from my very staunch, 13 minutes and 13 seconds as I'm saying this, my very staunch religious background. It followed through my leaving the church, through me being atheist, through me then locking into spirituality, through all of this stuff, my entire life over the past, let's say 20 years. 13 minutes and 33 seconds as I'm saying this. And those old habits have been with me throughout this process of doing these videos, and I was not aware. This is what we call a blind spot. It's when you're doing something and you don't even know you're doing it. This is why it's important to either go to therapy or to have people in your life that you can talk to about your behavior and about what you do, because sometimes you don't know it. It's kind of like that thing where this is a bracelet, and sometimes when I'm doing videos I have to have something to fidget with, so I'm sorry if the noise bothers you. But that thing of, if you ask a fish, 14 minutes and 14 seconds as I'm saying this, if you ask a fish, how does the water feel today? The fish will say, what the fuck is water? What are you talking about? Because it's literally that fish's entire existence. It doesn't realize that there is a life that happens outside of the water. It doesn't realize that it is swimming in the ocean. And for some of us, for a lot of us, our habits and the way that we are, we don't even realize there are things that we are doing that we are trying not to be or trying not to do. That's why it's so important to have people who you talk to, people who are real with you, who can tell you. Because it was my sister who yesterday made a statement, and I think I mentioned it in last night's video, and I ran face first into the point and missed it. So you're not alone. You're not alone if you're coming to realizations about yourself and you're like, damn, I really wish that I had known this sooner, because that's me right now. I have been saying that I am this powerful goddess, this powerful creature, and I'm constantly telling you all that you need to lock into how powerful you are. Because it's true, you are powerful, and I am powerful, and we are powerful. Okay? But something I didn't realize I was doing was I simply was taking those old structures and paradigms and I was dressing them up in spirituality, and I was essentially just doing the same thing I was doing before. Now, that's not everything. There are realizations I've had, there are ways that I'm living that definitely are different. But what I was doing was I was essentially replacing the God that I was taught to worship. You know, the guy who sits up in the clouds and tells you yay or nay to the things that you want and tells you whether or not you are deserving and whether or not you ain't shit. And I essentially went from that point. And the reason I say the God that I was taught is because that is not who I believe God is now. I do not believe that. So that is why I say that. And I know that there are people who follow me who are Christian, and there are people who follow me who they are God-fearing people, and I support you in that. I never want anybody who watches these videos to feel as though you cannot have a safe space here and you cannot be comfortable here, because you 100% can. As long as you're kind to people in the comments, as long as you're not harassing people about what they should be believing, you are safe here. This is a safe space for you. But I was essentially taking the toxicity that I was taught and I was placing it here. So I have been saying in every video, you and I can go back through them and watch it. I have been saying in every video that I have been waiting to be divinely guided by Spirit to do things, as if Spirit picks and chooses what to tell me. As if Spirit is a separate entity from me and decides whether or not it's time for me to know. 17 minutes and 17 seconds. The truth of the matter is that my higher self is me. God, this is what I believe, so don't feel like you have to believe this, but what I realized for myself today is that my higher self is me. God is me. My spiritual team, various versions of me. At my core, I am an energetic being. And the core energy that is operating in this human body is operating in you, in your family, in the birds outside, in the dogs outside, in the trees, in the sun, in the planets. That core energy flows through all things. All things. It is not something that is outside of me, and I've been treating it like it's outside of me. I've been treating it as though it gifts me things, 18 minutes and 18 seconds as I say that, or it provides things to me. And unfortunately for me, what that means is I have literally been standing directly in the way of my blessings. I have been blocking them. And this is embarrassing to admit as a person who's been doing these videos and telling y'all things that you need to do and you know, trying to guide as best I can and trying to provide information as best I can. And I have gotten downloads. And I have gotten information that I was moved to share with you all. And it was exactly what it should have been. I shared exactly what I needed to share. But this right here is why spirituality and living life in general is so fucking cool. Because growth is not linear. It's always going to do this. It's always going to do that. And I love it. 19 minutes and 19 seconds as I say that. So I came upon the realization that I've been waiting for divine guidance when the divine guidance is me. It's not separate from me. The divine guidance is you. It is a version of your soul that is not confined to your body. It's not confined by time. It's not confined by death. It's not confined by our human understanding. Spirit has no beginning and no end. It always has been, it is, and always will be. It moves into form, through form, and out of form constantly. Constantly. And so when I've been waiting for divine guidance, I've essentially been communicating to my higher self that we are waiting. And so that's why 20 minutes and 20 seconds, as I say this, that's why nothing's been happening. Nothing's been happening for me because I've been saying we are waiting. I didn't know that. But the cool thing about being growth focused is that you will always stumble upon the answers that you seek. You will always stumble upon them. So my realization today is that I have been saying that we are manifesting things, that we are attracting things into our reality. And I don't know if I want to use that verbiage anymore. And the reason I don't know if I want to use that verbiage anymore is because by definition, to attract something means that it is outside of you. It is a thing that is separate from you that you are bringing to yourself. When we say we're manifesting things, we're essentially saying we are creating those things. 21 minutes and 21 seconds as I'm about to say this. I come from a family of educators. My grandmother was an English and literature professor. She did her dissertation on works of Shakespeare, and she is always very intense about definitions and words and spelling and the way that things are said. And then my grandfather went to Oxford. I think that's in England. And he is the same way. A poet by heart. Ended up becoming a statistician, a stats professor. But he always wanted to do poetry. He always wanted to write a book of poems. My dad's written books. My dad is a songwriter, and he is also a poet. My mom has written a couple books. She is an educator. She's taught English. You know, my sister, an amazing orator. My sister writes wonderfully. My sister with the 3 kids. And then my other sister, whom I love so dearly, who I live with right now. She's an amazing writer. Amazing writer. And so is my brother. I am lucky and blessed to have people in my life who are just good with words, because words are just, some words are just sexy. Like, some people can say things and you're like, damn, say it slower and closer to my face. But because of that, I try my best to use the words I mean to use. So I don't think it's that I'm manifesting anything. I don't think it's that I'm attracting anything. And I think by using those words, I've literally been blocking myself. I think the words, you're all with me as I'm processing this right now at 23 minutes. I think what I want to say is, they are things that they are results that I desire. But the life that I can be living those things right now. And in fact, what's crazy is I'm actually living those things 23 minutes and 23 seconds as I say that. For those of you that don't know, 23 is my lucky number. I am currently living those things already. And I've hinted at this understanding. Even a broke clock is right twice a day. I've been hinting at this understanding in other videos that I've done, and I've rewatched the videos and been like, there's something I'm missing. I have said that I wanted to be paid and pampered to play. I've been saying that. And I realized a while ago that I wasn't playing. I was saying that's what I wanted, but I wasn't actively stepping into that space myself. And I've always had the ability to do that. I've always, in some regard, had the ability to do that. And I just didn't, for whatever reason. So today, I played Roblox Doors again. Fucking loved it. It was amazing. I finally got up to, there are 100 doors. There are 100 doors, 100 levels that you're supposed to go through, and I made it to level 95 before I was killed egregiously. I'm loving this game so much, y'all. I love this game so much. And I've been playing Roblox. I've been playing Stumble Guys. I've been just being playful, you know, locking it in with my inner child. And I receive things from people. No, I don't receive like money, but I received a birthday gift in the mail from my best friend. I receive food from people. Sometimes people are like, oh, I cooked something. There's a guy who lives in our apartment complex. He works for the apartment complex. One day I was sitting on the porch, we were shooting the shit, and he says to me, okay, so I made like a big batch of soup. And he was like, I make it for my family all the time and they love it. Would you like to try some? And ordinarily I'd be like, no, I don't eat no food at nobody else's house. But during that time, I was really sitting in my divine feminine. I was sitting in the energy of, I am meant to receive things. And because I trust that my own spirit protects me, it'll let me know if something is off. I'm not feeling any red flags, so yeah. And he brought me over a container of the most delicious soup I have ever had. And now whenever he makes it, he comes and he knocks on the door and he gives me a container of it. Or he'll give it to my mom because he's seen my family around and he's come and he's helped us and he's just been a super dope guy. I receive things all the time. Randomly, my dad will walk up to me and be like, hey, what's going on? And my dad's hands are huge, so he'll just like palm the top of my head because my hair up under here is like super short, and he'll just do this and he'll just massage my head. That's pampering. My sister will come up and she'll massage my shoulders or she'll massage my feet for me randomly. That is pampering. And this whole time I did not realize I am currently receiving things just for existing and playing. And it's because I had this idea of what that would look like. My idea was that I would have, hundreds of thousands of followers, that I would have all this money dropping into my account, and that every day I would wake up and have my plan of what I'm doing. Now, that's possible. That stuff is still very likely to happen because I feel it. I really do feel it in my gut. I believe that that is a life I am meant to be living. But I have absolutely just been, again, it's been going over my head this whole time. I've been telling you guys to focus on your now while simultaneously, guess what? Not doing it. Hello? That's the craziest shit to me. That's the craziest shit. It's like a person who gives amazing advice and that's not the part of the life they're living. So like when you're single and you tend to give your friends really great relationship advice, 27 minutes and 27 seconds as I say that. So if you're the person who gives your friends great relationship advice and you're single, high five, because been there. Like been there a lot. Recently, actually. And I've been talking about, bringing my soulmate into my life and that he's somewhere out there. He's not somewhere out there. I've been having dreams about a person. And I told my sister, I was like, I've been having dreams about this person. I've just been having dreams about a person. And the dreams, after the dreams, I would receive communique throughout my day about that person and about the dreams I was having. And I was like, this is 28 minutes and 28 seconds as I'm about to say this. I'm actually getting hot in the face. I was like, this is crazy. I started receiving crazy communication from the universe that the man that I've been dreaming about is in fact my soulmate. And I was like, you've got to be kidding. Like, this person who I'm dreaming about is not an immediate person in my space. So what do you mean they're my soulmate? And Spirit said, we do kind of make the rules, but also, yeah. It just is what it is. And I was like, okay. And so I've actually been struggling because I've been saying I don't know who my soulmate is because I've been bucking at that idea that I have actually been dreaming about this person and that this person is actually connected to me spiritually and is also dreaming of me. I have not really wanted to believe that because A, it sounds crazy, and B, I have no way of fact-checking that. I have no contact with the man that I've been dreaming of. I have zero contact. This person is not anywhere in my vicinity. And I'm like, are you sure it's not wishful thinking, Spirit? And my Spirit's like, no, It's not. And I keep getting signs. I keep getting signs. Now, everybody has the power of free will and the power of choice. So it could be that that person, depending upon their growth journey and what they're doing, it could be that that takes a while. I mean, I'm willing to wait, obviously. But I have been saying that I am manifesting my soulmate when it's not really, I'm not creating my soulmate. My soulmate is there. So for those of you who are dreaming of, 30 minutes and 30 seconds as I'm saying this, and 303 for me, that is the love number right there. Also, happy February 3rd of Love Month. Your soulmate, and I've been saying this, your soulmate exists. And you and your soulmate are connected. That is the very essence of that you have a soulmate. You are already connected to this person. And the way that you're moving in a way where you will meet at the exact time that you need to. There is no question. There's no need to figure it out. There's no need to work harder. And I've had so many videos where I've said, well, maybe you should be doing this and maybe you should be doing that. And that's true. There's other stuff you're probably supposed to be doing, not so that you can get your soulmate, but that's so you can enjoy the life that you're living. 31 minutes and 31 seconds as I'm saying this. I came to the realization that I really have been living in the future. I've been trying to get to the point, and the whole reason I believe my spirit came back here, as of today, I'm realizing this. This is new, it's fresh. I know I've said other shit in other videos, and I'm telling you right now, I understand. I understand, because I've rewatched my videos, and I understand what I said before. I know what I said. But again, growth is not linear. I didn't come back here to get those end results. I came back here for the everyday. This is not an in-between time, as I've been saying. I've been saying, for me, I can't speak for y'all, but for me, this is not an actual in-between time. This is the time. The first day that I said I wanted to be paid and pampered to play, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Right after I made the statement, I felt it in my spirit. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I knew exactly how I was going to feel fulfilled, and I knew exactly, where I wanted to go. I didn't know the steps at the time, but I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I waited 2 weeks before I said, okay, so that does sound good. I am supposed to be doing content. I am supposed to be gaming. But I knew it immediately. And this is kind of one of those you need to trust your gut, my love type messages, because there are a lot of you're dealing with the same thing. There's stuff that you want to do, but you're not allowing yourself to truly want those things because you don't see how it's going to get done. When the truth of the matter is if you have a desire to do something, like a life path that is fulfilling to you, you're already doing it. It's already in some way happening. You just need to open your eyes and look. Like I needed to open my eyes and look. I'm not telling y'all anything that I'm not currently dealing with right now in this moment. This is crazy. This is crazy to me. And it's like, well, Yasha, what about all the abundant stuff? Well, I am abundant. I really am. I have a roof over my head. And this does sound cliche as fuck as I'm saying this. I understand this sounds cliche. But I am abundant. I ate very well today. Again, I have a roof over my head. There are a lot of people who do not have these things. I am abundant in friendship. I have the coolest fucking friends. The friends who, whenever they have money and they're up, they want to cover me. Now, that happened because I definitely was like, hey, yo, we're an asshole. We got to work on that shit. So I definitely did a lot of work in order to be in the place where people would actually enjoy my presence, because that wasn't always the case. I used to be a dick. I'm still a dick occasionally. I'm still an asshole sometimes, but it's all in good fun. I'm not that way, like in a serious way. So being paid and pampered to play, I'm currently doing it. The abundance, I'm currently doing it. And my soulmate, I already feel that connection. That week that I was telling y'all, for those of you who've been watching my videos since the beginning, and for those of you who are new, I'll let you know, there was a week where I was just giddy. I could not stop smiling because I felt like I was in love. And the reason I felt like I was in love, I did not want to divulge this information at the time because I felt like it was maybe TMI. I was having dreams where I was in this place and I was living it as if I was actually living a day with somebody. And you know how dreams can sometimes be hazy and you can't see people's faces? I could see him very clearly. 35 minutes and 35 seconds as I say this. I could feel his touch. I could feel the warmth of his body when he held me. We laughed together, we joked together, we would go on drives together. I've had dreams of spending days with this man. And when I first was like, I'm looking for my soulmate, this was not happening. It's only after. It was only about maybe a week and a half that I was saying, I'm looking for my soulmate. And then I started having these dreams, and they weren't consistent. I would have one dream, like maybe every other week. It's just crazy to me. Like this whole time, guys, I have been sitting in the Cadbury seat. The things that I've desired are things that I'm currently doing. And if I wasn't currently doing it, I am doing it now. So I've been sitting around waiting for me to say, it's okay for me to move. That's wild to me. My habit of waiting for somebody to tell me that I'm a good girl and that I'm doing things right followed me all the way into my spirituality. And what's crazy, y'all, what's really crazy for those of you who are new, every video that I've done, I have genuinely believed and felt what I've been saying. And when I checked with my spirit and I was like, this is crazy, like, so all of that was a waste? And what I realized was, no, it's not. There is, for those of you that don't write, novelists go through a process. And the process is you write a first draft to your novel. And in the first draft, you put anything and everything in that draft. 37 minutes and 37 seconds as I'm saying this. You don't block anything. You put everything in there. If a pink elephant crashes through the wall and starts doing the can, you put it in there. Your second draft that you write is to take that information and sift through it in order to find a through line. But your first draft is essentially your brainstorming project. That's what it is. And so in life, that is what we are doing. So many of us want to be told that there is a plan, that there is a predetermined path, that if we take that, the chaos of the world will slip away and we can very clearly follow the rails that were set up for us because we're uncomfortable not knowing. We're uncomfortable. Not all of us, but a lot of us are uncomfortable with the unknown. We're uncomfortable with not knowing what to do, especially when you're raised in a society like this one where when you're a kid, it's like, well, what's your 5-year plan? What's your 10-year plan? You know? But everything that you're doing right now and everything that you've been doing has been necessary for where you are right now. In order for you to have the understandings that you're having right now, if you're watching this video, this message is for you. In order for you to hear what I'm saying in this video right now, as you can hear my voice, you had to go through everything else that you've been going through. It's not been a waste. A first draft is never a waste. Because in a first draft, some of our most glorious realizations pop up. And we save those first drafts. Because sometimes information that you have in there that wasn't useful for the second draft is actually useful for another novel you're going to write. So currently, some of you, you're on your soulmate path, and you're learning certain lessons that are actually going to help you on another path that you're also on, and you don't even realize it. 39 minutes and 39 seconds as I say that. I don't know if you can tell, man, but I'm feeling particularly humbled. Particularly humbled. and energized and inspired and motivated by today's understandings. Life never ceases to amaze me. It never ceases to amaze me. Now again, I do not know the exact path that everything is going to take. But anytime I ask, well, what should I do next? I get an answer. I actually get my answers immediately. And I've been doubting it because it's the first thing that pops into my head. And so I will purposefully put that thought aside and I will wait like a week or two. I will wait for the nudge. But the thing is when I first have that thought, I'm nudged immediately. So remember, some of you who've been watching my videos for a while, I've been telling you that spirit, your higher self, it is you, does not like slowness. Spirit doesn't like a shit ton of hesitation. And this is something that I have experienced. Spirit doesn't like that. When spirit is feeling good about something, when a thought pops into your head and your whole spirit leaps at it, spirit says, let's move, let's go, let's make it happen. And I've been getting those nudges but did not read them as nudges because I was like, oh, that's just my brain doing weird stuff. You know, if you're a person who is a bit neurospicy, you have ADHD or you have some type of autism or, you know, anything that you're working with where your brain, you feel it is a separate entity from you. First off, hi, how you doing? Welcome. Second off, I feel that. And third off, that is important to remember. 41 minutes and 41 seconds as I'm saying this. Your brain is not you. Your body's... I'm sorry for anybody watching this video and you're high. I know this is not a... this might be a lot for you right now. But you are not your body. You're not this flesh and blood. You know? You're not your mind. You're not that computer. You are the consciousness. You're the awareness that is experiencing your life via your brain and body. That is what you actually are. That is my firm belief. Scientists have talked about this. So many professionals with actual credentials have talked about this. That we are actually not what we have perceived as us. We are the awareness. We are the consciousness. And being that awareness and being that consciousness, truly understanding that is understanding that there is nothing that is closed off to you. All of your desires have been pre-set up for you to have. You are currently in the exact position you need to be on that journey. But you guys, some of you who are actually on a similar journey to me, think that it's supposed to look a certain way. So you assume you're not doing it because it doesn't look like what you have either seen done or what you imagine being done. I always thought that if I was going to play video games for a living, that it would literally be me sitting down and grinding out video games every day until I was good enough to like rank, you know, high. I always thought that when creating content, I was going to do skits, I was going to do funny stuff, and I was essentially going to do what Viners used to do, which is you put out a ton of entertaining content, 43 minutes and 43 seconds as I'm saying this, you put all of that content out and you reach out to certain people, they reach out to you, business deals are made, one thing happens, you know, one thing leads to another, and all of a sudden you're a writer on SNL. I thought that was what my journey was going to look like. It never occurred to me that my journey was going to be unique and it wasn't going to look like the journeys that other people have already done to get where they needed to be. It never occurred to me. I know some of you are like, what, really? It didn't. I have always saw other people's paths to things and been like, well, my path has to be one of those. Never thought that I would come on here and be vulnerable. And that my YouTube channel, I would gain subscribers just talking about my experience and my spiritual journey and my understandings. 44 minutes and 44 seconds as I'm saying this. I never thought that was going to be my introduction to the world. That never crossed my mind. Never. I really thought it was going to be the videos I did where I was singing. And when I stopped singing for other people and I only really, both my ears are ringing. When I started focusing on singing for me and entertaining myself and singing when I feel to sing and like doing little fun roles and just being silly, I thought that I was not going to have musical opportunities again. I have a person right now who wants to work with me on music stuff because they're like, you sing pretty well. I've had quite a few people who've been like, I would love to work with you. But I didn't want to do it because it's not the time for that. And it's not necessarily that spirit is moving me. It's more, I'm not moved to do it. It's like it's weird. It's like when I talk about spirit moving me, I've always said it's like divine nudges. They're very specific. That's what I've said. I've said so much. But really what it is there are mornings where I get up and I want to do something, so I do it. That is a divine nudge. I wanted to do it. I had the energy to do it, and so I did it. It was meant to be done that day. If I wake up and I have a thought and I'm like, I want to do this, but I don't really feel like doing that today, I don't do it. I heard somebody say, if it ain't fun, don't do it. And that's how they live their life. And immediately my logical mind said, well, that's dumb because there's a lot of stuff that you have to do that you don't want to do, i.e. paying bills, paying taxes, sitting down and having a hard conversation with somebody that you love. The list is endless. But the truth of the matter is even stuff I don't want to do, I'll wake up one day and be like, yeah, today's the day to get it done. And I do it. Bro, when I said y'all need to learn yourselves, this is why. This is why I have literally been standing squarely in the way of my own understandings. But what's crazy is it needed to happen this way. I had to bounce from one understanding to the next to get here. I couldn't have started my spiritual journey in October of 2024 and gotten this understanding immediately. It wouldn't have happened. Remember that cylindrical wall I was talking about? The wall was there. It would have hit, and I would have like logically known on some level this is true, but I wouldn't have internalized it. It wouldn't have resonated with the atoms in my body like it's resonated now. Today was a phenomenal day because of those realizations, y'all. I feel so good. I feel so good. I feel so good. And I know I'm going to have my up days and I know I'm going to have my down days because that's a part of the journey. But I think I'm appreciating where I am a lot more today. I'm feeling immensely grateful for where I am. Immensely grateful. Because I'm realizing that I'm not having to work hard. Working hard is something that I have been constantly, again, it's an old habit that dies hard. I have been constantly working my ass off to gain better understandings, to be a better singer, to be a better this, to have more of that, I've been working so hard. And I chose this path and immediately started working hard on that path. Somebody said to me a while ago, growing as a human being is getting to a point where you're unlearning everything you've been taught. And that is so true. That is so true. I am still at the age of 31. I'm gonna be 32 this month. So at the age of 32, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, even though my birthday hasn't happened yet. I am 32 years old. And it's such a great time for me to know this because I'm a big numbers person. So 3 represents, the Trinity, harmony, mind, body, soul, past, present, future, harmony, all that good stuff. And then 2 represents duality, which is crazy. Yin and yang, push and pull, Ti and Lao. And 2 represents companionship. And then you put those 2 numbers together, and my overall number for this year is 5. And 5 represents change. It represents travel. 49 minutes and 49 seconds as I say that. Change, travel, uncertainty, realignment. All of those good things. So yeah. If you see this video and you've seen my other videos and you're like, I can't believe you lied to me, I'm being so honest right now. I was very confident in everything I was saying. I'm usually very confident in what I'm saying. And even now, there might be new understandings that I gain that I'll do another video and be like, guys, I learned some other shit. I wasn't on it. And that's something, if I'm being honest, it used to bother me. The thought that, when am I going to get to a point where I just know? And maybe some other people have an experience where they get to the point where they just know. But I don't think I was meant to get to that point. I love surprises. I'm a big surprise person. So I don't think my spirit came back here to know a damn thing. I really do think I came back here to play and just experience life. To have understandings, to do new stuff. Like, I've been talking about wanting to be in a different living situation, and I have had the distinct pleasure of watching my parents, who are Gen X, start therapy together. They're both in therapy. I honestly never thought I would see that happen. Not because they were against it, but it was just never like a priority. It was never something that was like there was always other stuff to be done. But they are both in therapy, and they're handling some heavy shit together. And I have the distinct honor to see it happen firsthand before I move out. You know? I get to spend this time living with my sister. Because at some point we won't be living together. And this I've talked about in other videos, but like the understandings I've had today make this stuff hit even harder. Even living in the state of Florida, with all the political stuff that's going on right now. I just feel like this is exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. Everything that I've been doing, it has literally been exactly what I should have been doing. If there is a lined path for me, which I don't believe that any of our paths are predetermined, but if there is such a path, because I'm open to being wrong, if there is such a path, I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing. Not all who wander are lost. And I'm not even wandering. Like, I have a North Star. My desires are my North Star. And for y'all, your desires are your North Star. The things that you're wanting, the things that you have, they just keep coming up for you. Those desires, they're there because that's what you came back here to do. It's not that it's a thing that's outside of you. Again, new understanding. I know y'all might be in the comments like, wow, you really took us through all that. I did. And I don't apologize for a damn thing, because we all on this journey together. We're all learning. We're all leveling up. Level up, level up, level up, level up, level up. On the sun. Team love don't want no hate. Come through, Sierra. But yeah. Man. Crazy. My sister came into the room and I was like, bro, it clicked. And she just started laughing and she was like, what happened? And so I explained all of this to her. And she was like, it's so nice to see you happy. To see you realizing that you make your life harder than it needs to be. I'm like, yeah, I'll be doing that sometimes. So that is what I have there. So I guess to sum up that spiritual stuff, what I'm telling you is that you and I are now on a new journey. It's the same journey. We just reached a checkpoint where the mission at the top of the screen has changed. And so right now, it's not about you figuring out what you need to do. Right now, it's about realizing what you're already doing that has to do with the desire, and realizing that that desire is your North Star. So you do know where you're going.
If you're like, well, I don't have any desires, you do, and it's the childhood inclinations. That's your North Star. 54 minutes and 54 seconds as I say that. And it might take a while to find, because again, there's a lot of bullshit we've been taught that we're having to unlearn right now. Really, 2025 is, I believe, the year of authenticity. It's the year of locking into the things that we want to do. And it's the year of understanding that we don't have to be working as hard as we've been working. Some people will still work that hard, and they will, you know, get to where they're getting to, and they will say it's because they worked really hard, and I love that for them. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's journey is different. So when I say things in these videos, if they resonate with you, then it's because this is a part of your journey. If they don't resonate with you, it's because your journey is different. It's not a bad thing. We didn't all come back here to do the exact same thing. So I talk about stuff in my videos that are for me. I know there's some of you who are watching these videos and the information is for you too, but your journey, the way that these things will show up for you in your life over time, like some of you might be watching this video because you're used to watching my videos, and this is not going to apply to you for another 6 months, because that's just kind of how it works.
Like things kind of hit you at the time that you need it. Perfect timing. But yeah, lock into your childhood inclinations. Broken record over here. Because that really is what it is. That really is what it is. I've always wanted to play video games. I've always loved video games. I've always loved yapping. I've always loved talking to people. I like interviewing people. And all of these little aspects are things that I've been doing and that I'm going to continue to do at different levels. And it's just great. It's just great. So tomorrow, I ended up not going to that sleepover, by the way. But tomorrow I'll be hanging out with some friends, and I'm very, very excited. Because I'm going to get to play. I'm going to get to play some more with people that I love. This is just great. This is great. Open yourself up. Open yourself up even more. Some of you, you're still a little nervous. You're still a little like, this kind of feels like I'm walking off a cliff. You're literally stepping out onto your faith. The only reason why I believe that I've dreamt of my soulmate, the reason why I'm realizing that I'm doing all this stuff, is because in October, when I started my spiritual journey, I said, I'm just gonna trust blindly. I'm gonna go for it. Because I've done everything else and I wasn't happy with everything else. That's why I did it. That's why I've done it. That's why I continue to do it. So that's all I have with that. That's really heavy information. And I'm going to watch this video back tomorrow probably. I'm probably going to, as soon as I post this, before I post it, I'm going to go back and rewatch this recording. Because I really want to internalize it, because it just feels good. When I say things resonate with you, the understanding hits you in a place where you feel seen. That's what I mean. When I hear certain information, it's as if the person is talking directly to me, and that's how I know that it resonated. For me personally. But yeah, man. Poppy Playtime. Poppy Playtime. For those of you that don't know, Poppy Playtime is a horror game, and it's amazing. If you're into lore, if you're into creepy video games, disturbing video games, it is the shit. I watched somebody play it, and it was 3 videos. His first video was an hour and a half. His second video, I believe, was an hour and a half, and then the third video was 49 minutes, and I watched all those videos. And I think that's why I was able to understand the realizations, because I was in a heightened sense of play. I was just taking in content that I enjoyed, and so I was wide open to understandings. I believe that I'm spiritually kind of closed off a lot of the time if I'm not locked into play. I think that's one of the reasons that play may be important. I think it might be important because what it does is it literally preps your brain and your spirit to receive information. I think that might be one of the reasons it's so important for you all too, is because there's information that you know that you already have. It's up here, but you're not aware of it because you're focused on other things that are kind of closing you off to those understandings. And I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. But yeah, I appreciate you all's patience. I appreciate you all's support. I appreciate your engagement with the videos that I've been doing. I just really appreciate you guys in general. Like, again, these videos are super healing. They wake up a lot of my realizations. But yeah, it's been a good past couple of days. My mom literally asked me in the car on the way to the airport, "So how's the gaming going?" And I just paused for a second, because I've never heard my mother use the term game. And it sounded so weird coming out of her mouth. And when she asked, I was like, "It's actually going really good. I'm really enjoying it." And then I remembered a conversation weeks ago where my dad was telling my mom, and I was just kind of moving. I was not paying attention at the time. Again, information that I heard, but it just didn't register because my brain was somewhere else. And he was telling my mom, he was like, "You do realize that people who play there are people that play video games for a living." And she was like, "What?" He was like, "Yes, there are people who they do it. It is literally their occupation. They create content where they are gaming, and people pay them to do this." And my mom was like, "That's crazy. It's kind of ridiculous." And my dad was like, "You know what's crazy? I remember when extreme sports, skateboarding and snowboarding, my dad was growing up during the time where those occupations did not exist, and they started existing. Tony Hawk, who's the other guy? Something White? Like various sports people, you know, who skateboarded and you know, did the BMX biking and stuff like that. My dad was like, my mom laughed. His mom, my grandmother, laughed at the idea that you would get paid for just skateboarding. And now these are whole professions. I never thought I would hear my parents take those types of occupations seriously. Not that I needed them to, but I'm just telling you, it's just so odd how I started taking this portion of my life seriously, and the people around me are taking it seriously. I didn't even ask them to. It's just another way that it's like when you are meant to do something and it's lining up, it's lining up. Now, for you all, if you're not receiving any love or support in the things you want to do it anyways. For me, that experience just stuck out in my head just now. That she asked me that in the same way that she has asked me, in the same way that she's asked me, "So how's the new job going?" When I got my job where I was making the most money I ever made, I was in human resources. And she asked me, "So how's that job going?" It was the exact same voice. "How's the gaming going?" I was like, that's wild. Look out for those moments, man. Look out for those moments where Spirit is showing you that if you are taking yourself seriously when it comes to these things, like not taking yourself seriously, but like you know it's gonna happen, the rest of the world is going to also reflect back to you that it knows it's going to happen. It'll reflect it in synchronicities, mirror numbers, 101, 202, 303, 404. It'll reflect it back to you in triple numbers, 111, 222, 333, 444. It'll reflect it back to you in you not saying things to certain people and them randomly talking about the thing that you're wanting to do. You know? So yeah. I was going to talk more about Poppy Playtime, but I'm still processing everything. I literally just finished those videos a while ago, and it's a very heavy game. So my initial thought is that I'm just very proud of the devs. I'm so just impressed with the game design, the music, the sound design, the voice acting was phenomenal. Oh my gosh. The voice acting was superb in this game. And I remember when the first game came out and I was like, this is the beginning of an era.
incredible voice acting. So good. So good. It's just crazy. And it's funny because I literally was on a stream and I saw like 4 people on the side of my stream that were all playing Poppy Playtime. And I was like, oh my god, these videos fun to hit. So now, over the next couple of days, I'm just going to watch different people play the game because I'm the type of person to where I see different things every time. So I'm excited to see other people play it. It's going to be dope. It's going to be amazing. She's snoring. She's so cute. Guys, you really are more powerful than you realize. You all are walking around here with answers to questions that you've had for years. And for some of you, for all of you, the real reason a lot of those questions have not been answered is probably, if you still have them, it's probably because you just have not locked into self. You're waiting for the answer to come from somebody else. 5 minutes and 55 seconds as I say that. You're waiting for the answer to come from someone else. And you have it. You have the answer. You've got it. And some of you, you just need to trust it. Ooh, ringing in both ears. So this is true for you, my love, whoever's watching this right now. You need to trust that when you receive the answer, even if it's scary, even if it's something that makes you uncomfortable, you have to trust that that is the answer. And that you can move accordingly. And truly, whatever is meant for you, you can't fuck it up. You can't fuck it up. You will receive realizations, you will receive epiphanies, you'll receive everything you need to receive in order to have that thing. If you don't have that thing right now, it's because on some level of your higher self and you, y'all are not on the same page yet. You just need to get on the same page with your higher self. And that's going to look different for everybody. Sometimes I really wish that I had more like answers for you guys, like that I could tell you exactly what you need to do, or I wish I could give you exactly what you need. But I think that's the reason I'm meant to do these videos this way, is because that's actually not what I'm meant to do. I'm not meant to answer every question. I think in some capacity, I am a companion to you all. So like as you're on your journey, I am a person who is also on my journey. You're not alone in your frustrations. You're not alone in feeling like you took 1 step forward, 6 steps back. You're not alone in, the depressive episodes, in the moments of like major frustration. You're not alone. You're not alone. When you learn something and you're like, I can't believe I've been this stupid for so long, you're not alone. And you're not stupid. If you've been asking and you've been wanting to know, you're not stupid. I think true stupidity is having access to growth information and having access to be a better person, and you actively are going against it because you want to keep doing the same bullshit you've been doing. If you're watching this video and you've been that person, I don't understand how you're still here an hour and 8 minutes in. I don't know how you made it this far. If you're one of those people, I'm impressed with your resolve. But yeah. So tomorrow, well today, because what time is it? Let's see. It's 2:56 a.m. for me at the time of recording this. Tomorrow, I already know it's going to feel very different. I feel like it's gonna feel like putting on a new set of clothes after you're freshly out of the shower, after you had your nails did and your hair did and you got a massage for my guys out there, after you got your barber edged you up, you got a haircut, and you feeling all types of fresh, your facial hair, or you're clean shaven after having like facial hair for a long time, and it's just crispy. Like I feel like tomorrow when I come to consciousness, or I guess later today since it's 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., I feel like when I come to consciousness, I'm going to feel mighty crispy. Like it's just going to be a nice, crisp day. I do love you all so much. Thank you so much for being here with me. I think this is so fucking cool. It's so fucking cool. And I have no doubt that a lot of you who are here that have subscribed to me we are about to be friends for a long time. I can feel it. And I'm excited to get comments. I'm excited to see pictures, follow y'all on social media as your stuff is happening and as you're coming to realizations and as things are like happening and coming into your vicinity. I'm excited to witness your growth, your realizations. I love that. I love it so much. Well, I think that's all I have for you. Again, I love you all so much to the moon and back. I hope that you have the next few hours and the next times that you have as you're moving through your day or night or wherever you're at, morning, afternoon, evening, or night. I hope it's good. I hope you feel good. I hope you're able to meditate a little bit with your spirit. And I will see you all most likely tomorrow night. Monday night, I have another energy healing session with my dad. So I look forward to that. I love you all so much. And I will holler at y'all tomorrow night. Bye!